So this week is going to be a little bit sloppy. I can tell because my head is all over the place from insurance questions that I had this week. And I wanted to share them with you because it got me thinking about a lot of things. And let me preface this by saying I appreciate my insurance people that have helped in different places, right? I carry different policies for different things. Most of my policies are all under one particular company, but then for commercial space or for a different type of product, there might have been a better alternative for other things. But basically, I carry it all under one place. So um, I had an opportunity to evaluate policies and all of that stuff this week, and really, it was kind of blindsided by a few things, and one in particular, and something that I want to bring up for investors that have multiple properties was really I didn't pay enough attention to what my what was being covered under certain properties and what wasn't. And one of the things that threw me off, I have properties titled under different names. There's only a couple that are in my personal name. I think only one in my personal name, and it's because it's an accident, honestly. But that's going to change. But what ended up happening is because they're all structured under different entities, an umbrella policy isn't going to cover those individual companies under an umbrella policy, right? You can get one big business policy, I guess, but the cost of that policy to cover all of those entities versus increasing limits on each individual policy is this futile, just I mean it's something that I don't like to have to think about. Honestly, I don't like the insurance side of it because it's I don't want to say it's a lot of money. I think insurance and paying for it is exceptionally prudent. I think it's just something we have to do. Over insuring is a great thing in most situations. However, paying for things you don't need is frustrating, right? And that's where I'm coming from this week is kind of this position where, wait a minute, does that really serve me? And given the level of experience that we're in from an investor standpoint, there's a natural progression, a graduation per se, for taking a certain policy and understanding, okay, this is how this served me. This is the best. This is how it's supposed to serve me. However, things change when one party isn't talking to the other, right? Or there's so many different variables then as we grow in our careers, in our portfolios, in our families, all these life changes happen, and we might want to adjust the dial over on this side without really paying as much attention to what's being adjusted on this side. And again, from an insurance standpoint, my question to myself was, what insurances do I need and what have I carried forever? What pieces don't align? Now, I'll give you another thing I learned this week. So, under a general umbrella policy, you can only carry 4 investment properties under the particular insurance company that I am with. Well, we exceeded that a long time ago. So, this umbrella policy that I thought was defending me on all these properties was not the case. And yes, there might have been a breakdown in communication. I probably missed an email or something. But, that's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, hold on. So this whole time, I've been thinking that I'm getting this coverage and I'm not. Like, what's going on here? Nothing against the insurance company. Again, I know that a lot of things slip through the cracks. I know that I get more pieces of mail from this particular company than I can. It's like how many trees were killed just in a week's of worth of this sending this stuff, and it makes the process harder than it has to be, right? But again, I think this is more of a rant, getting back to the fact that I want to make sure that I'm absolutely adequately protected. I want to make sure that one entity, one company that's handling some insurance knows what the other insurance company is doing and why those things are important, because there is no one insurance company to rule them all. So I've found there are different policies for different types of properties and different types of things. I know that there is an amazing rider that people can put on their policies for Airbnb properties through a company that I don't use, and that rider is like next level, right? A lot of people talk about it, and I don't use that company, but our company does a good job, right? And the question also becomes, like, at the end of the day, it's all about how much do you want customer service to be there versus how much you're paying for it. And I think that that's a question that we have to ask ourselves as well, is what's most important to us. It's the same thing with management, right? What's the most important to us? Is it the personal touch? Is it the pricing? And I think, at the end of the day, it comes down to, I love the relationship side of things. I love that piece of it. Yet when it comes to insurance, it's like, how often do I use it, right? All my coverages on the properties are, they're at a threshold where if I have an expense, I'm paying out of pocket, right? I'm not going to my insurance company. I'm not gonna put a ding on my insurance or increase my rates even higher. My deductibles are generally pretty high. So again, how does that fit? How does that service? How is that serving you? So I hope that was helpful in at least kind of talking through that a little bit more. I am definitely going to be looking at my policies every single year moving forward and ensuring that, all these changes, like I didn't realize how much stuff we've got going on, right? But there's so many changes, even to my 16-year-old son starting to drive this year, right? So it's like, oh my gosh, that's the whole different piece that, can change things up quite a bit. This week, the market stayed the same. Interest rates are not looking amazing. I know that when we saw them on the conventional side midweek, they were, they weren't the best rates. However, inventory on the active side here in Phoenix is continuing to go down. Another week, this is, let's see, week of 6-12, we're at 10,257 active properties as of right now on the MLS. So, and that's active, not under contract, accepting backups, not anything like that. But again, that is like half of where we were 7 months ago, 8 months ago. So we'll see what that looks like moving forward. Hopefully interest rates are coming down soon, but what will that do? And I don't know if you saw it, but this week I got some emails from some other Instagram, like YouTube influencers, people online that are talking about rates, talking about market. And I saw a couple of them talking about the Airbnb stuff that we've been talking about for a few months. So they're now bringing it up that, hey, what happens when all these Airbnbs, which it sounds like, 50% of these Airbnbs out there nationwide are not hitting their numbers, are not covering their costs. What does that look like? I don't know how many there are. I don't know if anybody really knows how many there are, but see what happens. It's coming soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. See ya.